Hello dear friends, welcome back. It's May and it's so lovely to see you. If you're new here, then welcome. It's so really awesome to have you aboard. And if you're not new and you've been following me for a while, then I just want to say a big shout out to you because I really appreciate you. Thank you. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, basically just letting you a little bit more into my life, and you'll learn a little bit more about me, about the boat life, about my story, and I'm going to answer all your questions. So, hope you enjoy it. Rosemary asks, what are your 3 best things and 3 worst things about living on a boat? Okay, so I'd say let's start with the worst things. Oh, probably wind. And I don't mean mine, although I am a windy lady. I find that moving the boat when it's windy is an absolute nightmare. And I know you're not meant to do it, really, so I don't. But sometimes you have to because you've got to get water. So, yeah, wind. Being solo as well, you deal with everything by yourself. So all the responsibility comes down to you to fix it, to move it, to pay for it, to worry about it. It's all on your shoulders. I find that I worry about the boat a lot. I worry if it's sunk, worry if there's something wrong with it, and that is annoying and takes up a lot of my headspace. But really that's just my mind, and you know, that is something that I have control over. So really, there's no problem. It's just the problem I create for myself. Question here from Elvis. Hey Elvis. He asks, if I were to go away on holiday, where would I leave the boat to ensure that it's safe while I was away? Well, the sensible answer would be that I would leave it in a marina, but I didn't do that when I went to Israel. I went for 2 weeks. I actually contacted CRT and told them that I was going to be away for a little bit longer than 2 weeks. And they responded saying, thank you for letting us know, and that thank you for leaving your boat in a quiet place. So what I did is I strategically moored her somewhere that was really in the middle of nowhere, still close to boats, but not too popular to stop. And I didn't get caught for that. I say caught like I did something wrong, because I didn't. I still contacted them, I let them know, but they do come and check every 2 weeks whether you have moved on. So it does feel like you're being policed a little bit. Hey Amanda. Amanda asked me about my Rayburn, and it sounds like she's got one too, which is awesome. On the boat, Amanda? That's cool. I absolutely love this thing. It is unbelievable. It's huge. It pumps out so much heat. Like right now I'm standing right next to it and I'm just like, I need to take my coat off. Oh man. Why do I have to have an accent when I'm being weird? No, I don't wish I had a gas oven. I think that would be more expensive in the end. I love foraging my wood. I love collecting it, and I love getting stuck into all the sort of physical side of providing myself with my own source of heat. Like, there is not much more rewarding acts than something like going out, getting your own wood and bringing it back and putting it in your fire and getting warm. And then also cooking on it, like, literally, is so human. Anyway, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Hey Beverly from Canada. She asks about whether you need a license to drive your narrowboat. The answer is no, you don't. Not like a car license. You don't need to take a test to cruise on the canal. That's why people hire boats in the UK, because it's a really easy thing to do. You get a tiny 10-minute crash course from the hire company. They show you what to do, what not to do, how to do a lock, and then they send you on their way. So yeah, no license required. However, it is really recommended to get like a helmsman course or something if you're new, just for confidence more than anything. Hannah's wondering how I learned all about
engine maintenance and troubleshoot. She asks things like, is there a way to learn theory of boats somewhere? Yeah, absolutely. YouTube, you can go do a course. There would be loads of courses available for that kind of thing. Instruction manuals, yep, I have one. It's very dusty and I don't understand it. There is an AA equivalent for broken boats. It's called the River Rescue or Canal Rescue. I've never had to call them out, but it's part of my insurance. So if I ever did, then I could call them up and they'd come out and help me out. And back to that question about how I managed to learn everything. Literally winging it, honey. Winging it. I ask a lot of questions when engineers come visit who actually do know what they're talking about. I video stuff in case I need to learn, like, to remember what they said. I'll video it, I record them saying it. I try and error and yeah, just give it a go. I think you genuinely can't be afraid to give stuff a go when you live on a boat. Like, ultimately, you learn on the canal. You learn it all, especially if you're a complete novice like me. So you may think I have all my shit together, but I don't. It's just completely, I'm just an incredible actor. Or actress. Bulgia!
Hey Adam Khan, thanks for your question. Adam asks how I teach yoga as I move around and I'm nomadic. I actually do have a local class, so I do travel every day back on Monday evenings back to my local area, and I teach a class of about 10 students roughly, and I do that every week. And I also, from the end of February onwards, will be teaching online the boat. So I've got my webcam sorted, I've got my microphone sorted, got all the lighting sorted. I just need to do a few more logistical things, figure out when I'm going to be running the class, and then launching it. So yeah, please watch this space. Coming soon, Yoga on the Boat live with May. And I invite you all to come and try a class if you want to try one. If you're interested in signing up, then you can email me. Email address coming up on the screen now, and that will be amazing. So yeah, traveling around the country teaching yoga on the boat. That is the dream, guys. That's the dream. S from YouTube wants to know if there is any part of the layout that I would change about my current home. It's interesting you say that, because he also asked if, like, I was given a blank piece of paper, would I design it, what would be my ideal? And I actually did do that when I first got the boat. When I was hunting for a boat, I basically drew out my perfect layout, and I can't really remember what that is now. I think it was very much based on friends' boats that I've been on. But honestly, I think the boat layout that I have now is perfect. I can literally see from one end to the other of the boat. I love that. I love that it's so open. I love that it has a dividing door that closes between the kitchen area and the bedroom area. So in winter, I can keep one area really warm and the other area kind of goes cold. And I just don't sleep in the bedroom. I sleep on the sofa bed. Really like to have a bigger stern where I would stand. However, I love the fact that I can get to my engine so easily, because it's within the engine room and I can do mechanical things in there without breaking my back, which a lot of boaters that have a non-traditional stern have to get down into the floor, and it's really, really awkward and difficult. So yeah, honestly, I don't think I would change anything about this boat. I absolutely love it. I think it's perfect. I've had a couple of questions asking me about how far I have to travel from boat to my job. So I kind of keep the commuting time to no more than 45 minutes. I don't think I'd want to travel any more than that. Another thing with moving, people ask a lot, how far do I actually have to move every 2 weeks, which is a really great question. So I actually called someone up. I called up my local CRT guy. I asked him on the phone, hey, like, how far do I actually have to move? And he really genuinely couldn't give me a direct answer. Basically, what I understood was that it has to be more than a mile for it to be classified as having moved on. So that's kind of like an answer that he gave me that was direct. However, I didn't feel like it was an answer that could be directly answered. The way that I do it is I have spots along the canal here where I know I can park my car and I don't have to walk too far from that car park space. So in my mind, I know exactly where I'm going to be next. That's a continuous cruiser that has a job in one area. And other continuous cruisers, they don't have jobs in one area. They move along all the time. Sometimes they move 4 miles, sometimes they move 20. So it's really dependent on the lifestyle that you live. Basically, just don't take the piss and show that you are willing to work with CRT. Contact them, talk to them, let them know if there's issues when things go wrong, like your engine's broken down and you can't move on. Let them know that you're pregnant and you can have somewhere to stay for a few months. I believe that's allowed. Let them know that you're poorly and sick, and they'll have leniency as well. And yeah, just be a good Samaritan and all will work out well. My story. So I thought I'd sit down with a cup of tea for this one. I've got dried nettles in hot water, nettles that I foraged last year that I hung up and dried over the winter and help myself to every so often. Super anti-inflammatory, lowers the blood pressure, detoxifies the liver, helps with your skin and hair health. Soothes the nervous system. It's honestly just such an incredible herb. Me likey. And with a bit of honey as well, it's really quite sweet and not too earthy, you know. Yeah. So, right, my story. I don't really know how much people want to know about me and my life, but the question kind of came up about what made me choose to live on a boat, and it kind of leads me down to telling you a little bit about my life. So I was actually engaged last year in May, and I broke off that engagement with my partner in June. So we weren't engaged very long, and we've been together for 9 years. So we actually bought the boat together. It was a shared thing back in the day. So February 2021, we moved onto the boat, we bought the boat, and that was spurred on through the fact that both my partner and I, we'd been travelling together and separately for 5 years prior to coming back to the UK. We went all over the world. We were in Nepal, India. I went off and did my own thing in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand. We then met up in Australia. We spent 2 years in Australia living and working out there, and then another year in a van in New Zealand. I really feel like the experiences I had travelling shaped the person I am today. So with that in mind, when we came back to the UK, spent a year in Leeds, we were in this little flat. I started teaching yoga properly at that point and things were all right, but then we just felt stuck and stagnant and mentally were finding it really difficult. And we're like, right, we need change, we need to go back to our roots. So we looked at lots of different options, getting land, yurts, whatever, but we just knew we needed to be in the UK because we're really family people. And then our friends bought a boat, and I remember saying to my ex, like, let's do it. Like, what a great idea. He was really tall, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then we went to go to see their boat. They bought a boat. We went for a cruise, and within 15 minutes of being on that boat, we both looked at each other and were like, we're getting a boat. This is happening. And then I think it was a month later we moved out the flat, and then another month later we found the boat. We found this boat. Martin asks, how much of the canal network do you think you want to explore? I really would like to go to the Scottish Canal, which I have been told and informed that I'm going to be going. Yay! For my birthday. I'm going to be renting out a boat up on the Scottish Canal because the Scottish Canal isn't connected to the rest of the network, and I've always wanted to go on that massive lock up there. I think it's called Falkirk Lock. I've always wanted to do it, and I know that this boat is too old to put on the back of a lorry to send her up. It's like taking grandma out for a party, going out to a disco. Like, she just couldn't handle it. She just could not handle the journey up to Scotland. So that will never happen in this boat. So hiring out a boat, I'm going to do the lock, going to spend a couple of weeks up in the Highlands as well for my birthday. Really looking forward to that. That's going to be an epic YouTube video.
Someone from the South Africanization Society has asked me if I have any cute nicknames. No, but I do have an interesting story about my name. My name is actually Megan, which is why people call me May, because they look at my name and think, oh, it's Megan, when it's actually Megan. So I've been Megan for 30 years pretty much, and only recently, since my partner and I split and my life completely changed, that I have been calling myself May, because that is the short version of my actual name. So May is my name, Megan is my official christened name, and nicknames, May May, Maisel, Mayo, any play on words with May in it, Mayflower. I don't know, anyone got any good ones that they want to name me? May May. The kids call me May May. May May.
I got asked about this little lad. The Shanty boy.
He's not my dog. I wish he was. He's Adam and Lauren's dog. Some people might know who they are. If not, check out the Floating Home on Instagram. They're mostly active. But yeah, I'm looking after Shanty for 5 weeks. We're hanging out together. It's been really great. We're having such a good time together. And it's kind of a bit of a trial, I suppose, to see if I want to get my own. And I do and I don't. That's the answer to that. You're so wonderful and lovely, but you're also a big responsibility, and I would have to do it all by myself. God, your paws are dirty. I thought I'd sit on the toilet for this one. Question from Kelly. Hi, Kelly. She asked me if I ever get scared or nervous being alone on the boat. I do not, is the quick answer to that question. The times that I get scared is when the wind and rain are absolutely hammering it down and I'm struggling to sleep, and then my mind is catastrophizing about all the things that could go wrong. Things flying off the roof, windows smashing, water coming in the boat, sinking, fire, like anything starts to just go mad in my mind. Basically, if I don't have enough sleep, I really notice the effects of me getting anxious about stuff that's out of my control. I do have a video all about Am I Safe, it's called, on YouTube. You can check that out. It goes into a bit more detail about my safety on the boat, and generally, yeah, I feel safe. Top 3 best things about living on the canal and boat life. Most certainly, right at the top, number 1, nature. Being within nature reminds me of how to be still, about unity, about how we're all connected, and yeah, how to find peace. Second thing, the community. I love the community here. Everybody is so helpful and lovely and wonderful. And even people that just walk by on the canal that don't own a boat, just stop and chat and talk about dogs and life, and it's wonderful. It makes me so happy. And finally, I'd say that this whole journey so far has been so empowering, and I feel so much more confident in my abilities, about myself as a person. So yeah, empowerment, it's the gift. It's a gift of empowerment and self-confidence, and yeah, joy, so much joy. So a really great question, and commonly asked by Rich. How do you insure your car with no regular postcode? How do you generally get post when you live on a boat? There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can either have a post box at a post office. That's quite common. Or you have a friend or a family member, which is what I do, to have your post delivered to
have my insurance registered to. Everything is registered to that address. Simple, really. My favourite thing. Alice, hi Alice. She asks if I have any tips on self-sufficiency, which is a really cool question. Thank you for asking that question. I've been thinking about it, and I think ultimately self-sufficiency is different for everybody. I think people define what that is differently, right? So first of all, figure out your own definition of what that is, and then think of 3 ways in which you can achieve self-sufficiency realistically, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're like, I must grow all of my own vegetables and never ever use a car ever again, to, you know, feel that's so totally overwhelmingly not possible, and then you feel rubbish about yourself because you set yourself too high a goal. So yeah, I think about things that mean a lot to you and how to be self-sufficient in your own way. Big things for me and what I can achieve and how I live self-sufficiently. Self-sufficiently. Is that right? Yeah, it sounds weird. Is that I forage. I learn about edible plants, edible mushrooms, things that I can literally go onto the towpath and eat and make. And then I preserve that and I make that into something. I'm also big into food waste. Not that I think it's a good thing to waste food, it's actually the opposite. I really hate it. So I make big batches of food and I freeze those batches of food and then I eat them the following week, and it saves a lot of money. I'm actually thinking about doing a series on frugal living on a boat, because I do live very frugally, and I think maybe there'll be some things there that people pick up on, specifically when it comes to food and consuming food and saving money on food. Is that something that people be interested in seeing? Because I'd be interested to know if you're interested. Let's say interested one more time. Interested.
John asks, how often do you have to take your boat out the water? That is called blacking, and for an older boat you want to be taking it out the water every 2 years. For a pretty new boat, then maybe every 3 years. This blacking prevents rust from building up, as does the anodes that you put on the side of boats, which are these like metal things about yay big, and they go on the sides of the boats and they attract all the electro current that will rust the hull. So yeah, there's a few preventative measures there that stop rust and all that kind of stuff. While I'm up here, I need to get my last bag of coal down from the roof, so you might as well watch me struggle do that. What are your goals this year? From Charlie. How do you feel about the state of some canals? I'll answer one question at a time. My goals this year are to get the boat to a state where I feel confident enough to take her around the canal network. So there's so much work that needs doing on her. All the windows need replacing. There's rust and corrosion that needs sorting out. There's a load of welding jobs that need sorting. I want to reorganise my engine room because it's just, I have no idea what half the stuff is in there. So yeah, kind of like basically spending a year on the boat in the summer. Just going to have lots and lots of boat time. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to literally be on the boat the whole time, all summer. Invite all my friends to me. That's my plan this year. How do I feel about the state of some of the canals? Indifferent. They are what they are. I'm not someone that likes complaining about stuff. Do you miss having a bath rather than a shower? Not really, because I go around to my mum's and have a bath quite a lot. And if I were travelling around, I would get myself one of those gym membership things. This is my gym membership stride. And basically, somewhere that has a hot tub. I'd sit in that.
Would canal boat lifestyle be as fun without social media? That's a great question. I like that question. I think that it might be more lonely. I feel like I get a lot from talking to camera because I know that there's lots of people out there listening to me, and that really makes me feel like I'm not alone. So that is a wonderful question. I really like it. Thank you. Fun? No, I'm always having fun. I'm having fun without the camera on me. So no, it still would be fun. Oh my God. Slippy, bippy. Ooh. Logan asks if I have any contingency plans if things were to go wrong. And he uses examples like if the battery doesn't start in my car and I can't get to work, or I'm stranded in the middle of the canal. I mean, contingency plan is probably laugh about it, deal with it in the best way possible, film it because it's great content, and yeah, don't take things too seriously because at the end of the day, things go wrong all the time and it's all about your reaction to what happens to you. So yeah, my contingency plan is have a good, positive reaction, laugh about it, tell stories about it, learn from it. Yeah. Hey Phil. Phil asks where I see myself in the next 5 to 10 years. This has been a really good question, actually. Thank you for asking it because it's one of those questions that are just really great for, yeah, thinking about the future and reflecting on whether the choices I'm making now reflect the answer that I give. So yeah, 5 to 10 years. Let's say 10 years time, I'll be 40. I would like to have a thriving business and be solely teaching yoga, helping and supporting people with their mental health and well-being. I would like to be giving back to the community in some way, whether that be financially because I can afford to, or with my time because I can afford my time. And that could be anything. I think that would be very dependent on my passions and projects and the people and the circle that I'm involved with at that time. I would love to have a child at some point in my life and a partner to share this lifestyle with, but at the same time I am very open to that and also not happening for me. I'm very much living in the moment, so yeah, we'll see what happens with that. No pressure on myself for that at all. What will be will be. C'est la vie. I'd love to be living in community. I'd love to be growing my own vegetables and have a plot of land. So whether that be on the boat and have a little plot of land on the side where I'm growing veggies, or I have my own allotment. Ultimately, I want to be close to my nearest and dearest, my friends. Maybe even helping them bring their kids up. Sharing responsibilities with my closest companions, and yeah, living just a simple life and not having too much stuff, not needing or wanting too much stuff, or yeah, maybe go on like one epic holiday a year and yeah, just develop my yoga practice. The next 10 years, yeah, just a happy, fulfilling, full of love, full of people, full of relationships, friendships, and making new memories. Spending little money because you don't need money. Just, yeah, just having enough to get by and to feel comfortable and secure would be nice. M asked, how do I make money to fund my lifestyle? I have lots of different streams of income. I walk dogs, I garden, I work for a mental health charity, I teach yoga. What else do I do? Oh yeah, I'm a Christmas elf. Basically, I am quite entrepreneurial, so any way that I can make a little bit of extra cash, I will. And I wouldn't say that funds my lifestyle, I'd say that's just the way I live my life. My lifestyle is funded by making sacrifices. I don't go on holidays. I don't buy lavish things. I get everything from charity shops. I live extremely frugally because I don't actually make that much money. And that enables me to then put that money into the boat, which is the lifestyle, I guess. You know, like I have to prioritize. And oh my God, the birds have been shitting all over my boat. You bastards. Oh well, she needs a clean anyway. Yeah, so I hope that's answered your question, Em. You absolutely can live a lifestyle that you want to live. The only thing that's stopping you is you. Oh. 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 Fucking hell, lad. So that's it for another week. I hope you guys have enjoyed my Q&A and found out some new information about the boat and had all your questions answered. If there's any more, please send me a message. I might not have been able to edit all of them together because it might have been like an hour long. So if I did cut some of your questions, I'm really sorry. Pull me up on it and I will answer your question via messaging you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And a big, big thanks to Tony, Mark, Lorem Ipsum and Gavin for your coffees this week. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you. I'm going to go take this boy for a walk. Come on. What's this? What's this? Show your face. Show your face. Okay, don't show your face. See you next time.